this episode of Hank's Corner. I'm Hank Jr., part of Hank Jr. Productions, where I'm documenting life's moments through photography, videography, and now podcasting. And today on my show, I have the one and only Brady Lee. Brady, how are you doing today?
Hank, I am doing excellent. Thank you so much for having me on the show.
Oh, you're most welcome. So, where are you calling in from today?
I'm in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. That is where I am at right now. And it is cold and there is 6 inches of snow on the ground. And yeah.
And normally I would be saying it's warm here in Florida, but I think you must have sent some of that weather down here because we are actually in the 40s right now, and that's pretty cold for us. Even though I like it cold, some of the people here don't.
I will say, for everyone listening and watching, I deeply apologize for sending any cold weather. That's on me. And I'm sorry.
So now you're from Milwaukee, like that's where you were born, correct?
Well, just Wisconsin in general. So there's
Okay.
a small town north of Milwaukee. Um, it's called Oshkosh, and I that's where I call home. My dad was in the military when I grew up, and so we lived everywhere, including Florida. We lived in Jacksonville for 3 years and Pensacola for 3 years.
Okay. Because he
But
was a pilot, correct?
he was a helicopter pilot.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So yeah, that's my story. But we kind of settled in Oshkosh after he retired from the military. That's where I met my wife. That's where I really got into music, and so I call that home.
Okay. And I have seen, you do a lot of social media with your wife and your children. Seems like you're a real great family man. Tell me a little bit about your family.
All right. Well, so me and my wife, like I said, we met in Oshkosh. We actually met going to the same church, so that's kind of how we got connected to each other. And we got married in 2015. I was still in college, and so was she. But we're high school sweethearts, and which is just, I don't know, special, kind of fun. And we welcomed our first son in 2017, in December of 2017. His name is Griffin, and he is just super fun and got the world's biggest personality. And then in 2019, we welcomed our second son, who's Owen. That was in July. And if we thought Griffin had a personality, we met Owen, and that boy is a wild child. Like
Oh,
I've never
wow.
seen. And he's super fun. He has no fear. Um, and he's also the biggest snuggler in the family. He's either like hardcore, no fear, running, swinging for the fences, or he's like, I just want to sit and snuggle, and that's all I want to do.
Mm.
And then just recently in August, we welcomed our third son, and his name is Wells Michael. And we're still figuring him out. So, but
and and I saw that you had a very interesting gender reveal.
oh my gosh, are you referring to the eggs?
Yeah, for those who haven't
Oh.
seen it, tell us a little bit about that.
So I came home one day, and my wife decided that hey, I have this idea for a gender reveal, and I'm gonna crack eggs on your head, and the one that cracks is going to be the gender. And I was like, I don't understand. She's like, no, they're one of them. They're like all hard boiled except the one. And then the one is, we're going to crack an egg over your face. And I was like, I don't know how I feel about this. She's like, no, people are going to love it. Like Instagram loves this stuff. And I was like, all right, whatever. And so we get all the way through. I was blindfolded, and the last one, she cracks it, and it doesn't crack. And the whole thing was, it was a complete setup the whole time. It was totally fake. She accidentally hard boiled every single one of them and just wanted to hit me in the head with eggs 12 times.
And
So
then capture it on video.
capture it on video and let the whole world see it. So that's our relationship in a nutshell. Just lots of fun, bunch of silliness.
That's awesome. And so you described a little bit about the personalities of your children so far. One you're still trying to figure out.
Yeah.
Does any of them yet showing any musical interest like their daddy?
Oh, I mean, okay, yes, they for sure do. So, Griffin just got, he's my oldest. He just got a little drum pad to practice for Christmas. So he's really excited and he's gonna play drums. And now Owen has really showed an interest in guitar and he wants to learn how to play guitar. And he actually does this thing. He'll actually walk around the house singing like my songs, or he'll sing. He's big into Frozen right now and like Disney songs, and so he'll walk around with his guitar, singing Frozen or singing Disney songs. Um, and it's pretty musical in our house right now.
That's
So
pretty cool. And if the third one picks up a different instrument, then you'll have your own full band ready to go right there.
I'm really excited about that because then I won't have to pay them, and that's going to be phenomenal.
Well, up until the point where they get their own agents.
That's true, and that would probably come pretty fast. In fact, it'll probably be their mother, uh, and so we'll figure that out when it comes.
Now, you come from a line of your parents and were musicians as well, correct?
I mean, hobbyists, yeah, for
Hmm.
sure. So I grew up in the church and kind of in Southern gospel music, and that that's where I cut my teeth learning music and figuring this stuff out. And my mom was usually in our, we were, it was always small churches, 100 person or smaller churches. And my mom was always the pianist or the organist, depending on whatever the need was for that Sunday. And my dad would often sing in the choir. And so usually it was every Wednesday night we were dragged out to church and we had to sit there in the pews while, mom and dad did choir rehearsal. And it was, I mean, that's how I grew up.
And it was your idea to say, "Hey, let's liven up choir a little bit and bring some drums in," correct?
I actually did. So there was an electronic drum set at at one of the churches, and I was in, I think I was in eighth grade. I was in eighth grade, and somehow I don't understand. Pastor Jerry, really had some real faith in me here because he was like, "Let's set it up, and you can play drums on Sundays. Next to your mom and your dad." And so that poor church had to listen to me play drums week in and week out. Uh, but yeah, I mean, it was a blast. It was so much fun, and I was having the time of my life playing the drums for the church. And but man, I was bad. I was awful, and just bless those people for putting up with me.
And were there any particular songs that you enjoyed playing in the church?
Um, I really liked um growing up, it was pretty traditional, so we did a lot of hymns. But I really liked Christ the Lord is Risen Today, which has got this big march feel to it.
Hmm.
And I think the reason I liked that one the most is because I could kind of cut loose a little bit and get away with it. I think that's why
Okay.
I liked it. And so I liked that one. But probably one of my most fond memories of doing music in the church was I had just gotten a guitar, and I had just learned how to play it. And for Christmas Eve that year, we were invited to sing a special, and it was Silent Night. And so I played the guitar, and my mom played the piano, and then I sang, my dad sang, my sister sang, and my brother sang, and we did a four-part harmony with guitar and piano for the church. And that was probably one of my on Christmas Eve. That's
Hmm.
probably one that sticks with me the most.
And that sounds very special. I mean, I know just, from my standpoint, I've told the story before, was that growing up, I used to always enjoy the midnight service and all the lights went out and then the candles went on and sing Silent Night. But to
Yeah,
be able to perform that with the family, I mean, that's got to be, awesome in itself.
it's just one of those stories that like I just remember, and I'm sure like it wasn't anything great looking back on it, but it's just kind of seared into my memory as one of the big musical moments.
And how much does your faith play into, your music career?
So I write songs in Christian for Christian music and Christian artists, and like I write songs for my church, and we sing them in my church services, which is just really special. Uh, and then when I approach music, I kind of approach it as like, um, you know, everything is really sacred when you think about it. Like everything can be an act of worship to the Lord. And so a lot of my songs, I just try to present things in a way that I want to meet people where they're at, and I want to help people, and I want to brighten people's day with my music. And even if they don't remember me, if they remember my songs, that's kind of what my mission is with my music. Is just to meet people where they are, and hopefully brighten their day just a little bit.
And that's great to hear. And so, obviously you still, keep those roots with the church and gospel, like you said, and the Christian music with your writing.
Yeah,
But you've also done various genres through high school and
yeah.
college. Tell us a little bit about the different ones that you went through, because I think you probably went through them all at one point.
Man, I've been on a journey. That is for sure. I've been on a musical journey, and when I was in high school, that was when I really got into music. Um, and we started out. I just figured out how to write songs, and I kind of created this little, pop rock band, with a little bit of those kind of pop punk emo type stuff, just because that's what's cool when you're in high school, is to be an emo kid. And so I wrote I wrote songs for my friends, and I remember I put a band together with my buddies, and I would write everything, and they'd show up to my house, and I'd be like, "Here's a chart, here's a CD with your parts on it. Go have fun, and I'll see you in a week, and we'll rehearse these 5 tunes." And I mean, that's how I did it. And so we actually got started in that kind of, we would tour, middle schools and elementary schools, and just kind of, or like play for school dances and stuff like that. That's how we got started. And then in college, we kind of, everybody kind of moved away and did separate things. And so I formed a new group, um, and it was called Native Tongues was the group, and we often got mistaken for the '70s like super rap group, which is really fun and stories within itself. But we called it post rock, and that was like very big guitars and really ambient textures, and very cinematic in the sound. And I was in that group for 4.5, 5 years, and we toured. I mean, we toured extensively, and we got big over in France and Europe, and that was super fun. We started as a post rock group, and then through a bunch of transitions and changes and new members coming in and out, we ended that project being more of like this electronic indie pop project. And we kind of marketed ourselves as the coolest band you've never heard of. That was our thing. And we had a crazy show with like movies playing, and like this like textural projection and stuff like that. It was wild. And then we all kind of had kids, and we all got married, and so we decided just that project just was too much to handle being an indie. It just didn't pay the bills. It didn't make enough money. And so we kind of hung it up, and I joined in with a bunch of friends doing a studio project called Coastlines, and we still do that a little bit. And that's more of a just kind of an alternative pop thing, just very studio, very synthetic, really fun to write and make those tunes. And we actually are all over the world, even in like Poland and Texas, and I'm in Wisconsin, and we all write songs and make those songs and release them as Coastlines. And now, a couple years ago, I decided I wanted to take on a solo project and a solo career. And I started writing with a lot of people and figuring out what my sound was. And I sat down one day to write country music with a friend of mine, and it just clicked. And I can't really describe it other than the fact that it just clicked, and it felt like home. And we ended up, when the pandemic started, I kind of holed up with my buddy, and we would write every single day. And it would be about 5 songs a day is what we would knock out. And so literally for the first 3 months of that pandemic in 2020, we racked up well over 200 songs. It's just insane.
And so one of those songs during the 2020 lockdown, I believe that you came out was "I Can Do This All Day," right?
Yeah, you know
S-
it.
So tell us a bit about that, and hopefully maybe we can hear it here on Hank's Corner.
Absolutely. I love to play it for you. And so I Can Do This All Day was the first song that I had written that really felt mine. It felt like my song as an artist. And the story of it, like a lot of people, was when we were all on lockdown, nobody really had anything to do. And so what I did was I binge watched Marvel movies.
Mm.
And like I watched the whole Marvel Cinematic Universe.
And
And
did you watch it in order?
I think I did. I'm
Okay.
sure there's some speculation. I skipped the like the TV shows. I just went more of the
Okay.
movies.
Because
Which I'm
that's what I'm doing right now. I'm actually going back and watching them in the suggested order that, from, chronologically how they would be. So,
and it's incredible. It's incredible. And so, I really came to enjoy Captain America specifically. All of them. Any movie with Captain America in it, I was about Captain America. And, we're watching this film and he's getting beat up, and he has this iconic line that he stands up after just getting kicked down and knocked down. He stands up and he puts his fists up and he's like, I can do this all day, and that became his iconic line, right? I can do this all day. And right there, watching that film, it like clicked with me. The song idea clicked with me of, like, oh my gosh, like here we are, like we're all knocked down, we're all kicked down, and just, but the reality is like I can do, like, we can do this all day. Like I can do this all day. And not only can I do this all day, I can have fun doing it as well. And it just kind of clicked with me. And I ran outside and I made this in my backyard, my very own backyard. I created this paradise, like a backyard paradise in the summer, during the COVID pandemic. And I mean, we had plastic flamingos up, and we had like pools and slip and slides, and we had tiki torches, and like we created the whole deal. And I mean, we lived in the backyard during our pandemic, and it was a blast. Like we had so much fun. My kids loved it, we loved it. And that's like what inspired the whole song, is Steve Rogers and Captain America saying, I can do this all day.
that's
So,
awesome. And we definitely would love to hear it here on Hank's Corner.
let me play it for you. Drop my toes in a plastic pool, pull a chair off the patio too. Bug spray, cause I only want one kind of buzz today. I'm on a backyard vacation, it was a free destination, and I've got the whole place to myself. I can do this all day. I'ma put my feet up, slow down, sleeping in the sun to the radio sounds. I've got the 10 lines on that island time to prove I'm here to stay. Cooling off with the cold one, because my week's coming undone, yeah. No plans with anyone, and you can call me lazy, but I can do this all day. I can do this all day. It's gotta be 80 degrees with a little spring break breeze. Sunscreen, cause I don't know when I'll be calling it. Yeah. I'm on a backyard vacation, avoiding my obligations. Maybe all the bills will pay themselves. I'ma put my feet up, slow down, sleeping in the sun to the radio sounds. I've got the 10 miles on that island time to prove I'm here to stay. Cool it off with the cold one, because my week's coming undone, yeah. And no plans with anyone, and you can call me lazy, but I can do this all day. I can do this all day. And I've tried the ocean view in a hotel outside of Malibu. I've tried the white sand beaches and the top shelf margaritas. But All I need is right in front of me. It feels better when it's free. And I'm happy as can be, 'cause I'ma put my feet up, slow down, sleeping in the sun to the radio sounds. I've got the 10 lines that I'll in time to prove I'm here to stay. Cooling off with the cold one, 'cause my week's coming undone, and no plans with anyone. And you can call me lazy, but I can do this all day. I can do this all day. I can do this all day.
And that's Brady Lee doing his best Captain America impersonation, singing "I Can Do This All Day" here on Hank's
Absolutely.
Corner. So I definitely like that song. I mean, being here in Florida, I could definitely just see me outside, having one of those drinks and just enjoying it. Do you have a video? Do you have a video for that already?
So I have two videos. I have like a live acoustic performance video from a playlist that I created called the Loft Sessions. And this one in particular is super fun. We're all dressed up like in a luau and whatever. And so we've got a performance video. And then I also have a lyric video that we created that is absolutely to die for. It's super funny and hilarious. And yeah, so those are the two like extra content for I Can Do This All Day. And we also created, which is super fun, my son helped me, my 3-year-old helped me create an entire merchandise line on this one song based off of the plastic flamingo that we had in the backyard. And he loves it. And I made the whole thing because of him. So it's super fun. I love it.
Yeah, yeah, that's awesome. So be sure to check out Brady Lee's YouTube channel where you'll be able to find those videos as well. So I came across you through seeing that you were playing with a good friend, Kirsty Kraus.
Yeah.
So now, do you know her just from Nashville, or being both of you from Wisconsin? Did you guys know each other back there?
So I met Kirsty because I actually messed up on an email chain trying to connect with somebody from Wisconsin, and it like booted over to her, and she's like, "Hi, the person you're trying to reach does not exist anymore, but my name's Kirsty. Nice to meet you." And so super funny. And she was living in Nashville. I was living in I am living in Milwaukee. And we just kind of hit it off as being fellow Wisconsinites and fans of the Green Bay Packers and the Wisconsin Badgers and that kind of thing, and being musicians as well. And so she needed some support for certain dates up here in Wisconsin, and I had all of them open, and so we just kind of hit it off. And yeah, that's the story of me and Kirsty. We're good friends.
Okay, that's awesome. Yeah, because I saw that you guys were playing at the listening room, and
Yeah.
Kirsty's actually on her way down here to Florida with Crystal. They just left today, and I'm looking forward for them to coming down. We're going to be doing some photo shoots, and I'm going to be watching them perform. So it's going to be a great time. So you need to find your way down here to Florida.
For sure. I will be joining Kirsty in Florida
Oh,
starting February 26th. So I have a couple dates in Florida that Kirsty's joining me on, and then she had a couple dates that I'm joining her on. And so I'm going to be down there for about 10 days with Kirsty performing. I'm really excited about it.
oh, wonderful. Well, we definitely need to talk offline about that. So I want to go back a little bit though into your influences and your songwriting process. Tell me a little bit about that stuff, because like I said, I know you had the church influence, but as far as like musical artists out there, who were some of your influences?
Okay. When I was growing up, my dad had, this was before like 6 CD changers and stuff like that and all that. And so like we had 2 CDs in the car. It was it. We had a Tim McGraw CD, and then we had a Rascal Flatts CD. Those are the 2 CDs in the car. And still to this day, like I absolutely love Rascal Flatts and Gary Laveau and his sound and his style and his approach to making music. And so that's like a super heavy influence on me and on my style. You can kind of hear it even in how I do the runs and stuff. And then growing up, we listened to a lot of Tim McGraw, and he just had a very relatable and very real approach to songwriting. You know, like, who sings about a barbecue stain on their white t-shirt? Like, you know, it's like,
and it becomes a classic.
I would have never sang that because I don't like barbecue stains on my t-shirt. But, and so, you know, just kind of that realness and that approach to songwriting has really influenced me. And then, you know, I grew up in the 90s. And so a lot of my influences come from, you know, 90s rock and even a little bit into the 80s too. So like I was big into U2 at the time, and that kind of anthem stadium sound. Like I'm so into that. And then I also grew up listening to like Goo Goo Dolls. And I was so, you know, I really enjoy their work as a trio, being like acoustic guitar and drums and bass, and kind of being a little bit different. Really enjoyed the songwriting in that as well.
Okay. And as far as the songwriting is concerned, I mean, do you enjoy doing that? Does it come naturally to you, or do you prefer collaborating and maybe pulling other people's songs?
I really do love the songwriting process. I love coming up with new ideas and being witty and funny and silly. And I write a lot of songs. And in fact, like I'm so attached to the songwriting process that I honestly, if I go probably more than like a week and a half and I haven't written a song, like a full song, I kind of get a little depressed, honestly. Just because it's just such a part of me. And when I'm not using that, you know, I get in a weird place. My wife can't stand it. My kids think I'm weird. And like, I have to come down to my studio here and I have to just write something. I have to get a song out. And so I really am attached to the song. But that said, like with my career and what I'm doing, I've kind of committed to the fact that it's whenever I cut a song, it's the best song is going to win. You know, it's always going to be the best song, even if I didn't write it. It just has to be, it either has to be a song that I wrote that I think is incredible, or it has to be a song that I wish I wrote because it's that good.
Okay. And you had talked about you were going to play a little something special for us as your second song here on Hank's Corner. Tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah. So I wrote this song back in 2020. I wrote this song with a good friend of mine, and she has recently experienced a lot of success in with Spotify support and Amazon support, Apple Music support, and also like blowing up on TikTok. And our whole thing right now is the collaboration is a secret. You know, it's completely secret. That's how I'm getting there. That's how I'm getting there. But we wrote this song, and it's this really, you know, kind of song about being on the phone and talking to someone on the phone, and that at least for me, I prefer to chat on the phone with people as opposed to text or email or something. I just like to talk. You know, it's just easier, it's faster, it's more efficient. And but I do have those people that, like my wife specifically, who they have their own special ringtone, you know, and I know exactly who's calling when they pick up the phone. And it's just, you know, it's the highlight of my day to talk with them, you know, and I really enjoy talking with them. It's so that's kind of what this song is about. It's called On the Line. And it's just that feeling of talking with somebody on the phone, and here we go. I always feel a bit of magic cutting through the static when I hear your voice on the telephone. You waited for the third ring, you know it drives me crazy if I've got to spend the night alone. 'Cause I don't mind being on hold for you. I don't need anyone else but you. 'Cause when you say hello, baby, anything goes. It could be any time, it could be day and night. You can call me whenever you like. 'Cause there's something in the way you talk, I could never hang you up. And I'm hanging on for dear life. Yeah, I'm laying it all on the line. Laying it. I'm laying it all on the line. You know you've got a different ringtone. I will never miss one call or SMS. Don't worry about the minutes. I took off all the limits in case something was left unsaid. 'Cause I don't mind being on hold for you. No, I don't need anyone else but you. 'Cause when you say hello, baby, anything goes. It could be any time, it could be day and night. You can call me whenever you like. 'Cause there's something in the way you talk. I could never hang you up. And I'm hanging on for dear life. Yeah, I'm laying it all on the line. Laying it. Oh, I'm laying it all on the line. Laying it. Yeah, I don't mind being on hold for you. I don't need anyone else but you. 'Cause when you say hello, baby, anything goes. It could be any time, it could be day and night. You can call me whenever you like. 'Cause there's something in the way you talk. I can never hang you up. And I'm hanging on for dear life. And I'm laying it all on the line. Laying it. And I'm laying it all on the line. Laying it. Oh, I'm laying it on the line. Laying it. Oh, I'm laying it on the line.
And you're listening to Brady Lee here on Hank's Corner singing On the Line. And now you got us all excited about this mystery TikTok
I know.
artist. So
I'm really excited. That's the next single that's coming out, and it's also going to be on the EP that's coming out later this year as well. I'm just really excited about it.
Okay, stay tuned because I'm sure as soon as it breaks, you'll hear it here at Hank Jr. Productions. So you got this going on. You're coming down to Florida. What else should we be looking for from you in 2022? Do you have any goals set for you, or something that is just going to be your year?
Man, I will say this. I am really, really excited about 2022. There's so many things on the horizon, and I would say the big one is going to be new music. I'm really excited to be putting new music out. I've got this single coming out, and I have an EP coming out to follow that up, which in my opinion is some of the best songs I've ever worked on. They sound incredible, and the team and the musicians that are on it are absolutely stellar. The best musicians in the world are playing on this record. And on top of that, we have set goals of playing. We're going to play 55 venues this year across the United States, and we're also going to be playing 15 festivals across the United States as well. And so I'm really excited about this year. It's going to be busy, but it is going to be so much fun.
Well, we definitely wish you the best of successes here in 2022. Sounds like you have a great year ahead of you. We can't wait to hear the new single, the LP, and see you at all these locations. So, Brady, thank you so much for coming on Hank's Corner. You've been a great guest, and you're welcome here anytime.
Thank you so much. It's been my privilege. You guys are wonderful. Thank you.